Hello, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about a earring making kit that I bought on BeeBee Craft, and it came with the kit makes 12 pairs of drop earrings, and I've already made a few here that you can see. I think these turned out really pretty. I decided to combine my pieces in this way. You will have flexibility as to how you want to do yours. Everything will come in this little box, and inside there are all of the parts, and then you can put it together however you would like. Oh, you know what? I just realized this little pair. I've already put everything together except for this last two pair. There's another pair that looks different than what the four I've got out. Yep, same. Okay. So this little kit, what I paid $10.19, and right now I just looked it up and it is selling for $9.19. So that's an even better price. And so when I bought mine, I priced it out that each pair of earrings was going to cost me 85 cents. So 85 cents for a pair of earrings to me is a bargain, and so it might be a bargain to you as well. I'm going to put this just up here at the top so you can see what that looks like. So this is a really easy kit, and I had a lot of fun making these, and I am going to have to teach you a couple of things to make these earrings, and there's a lot of information out there on the internet about how to do what I'm about to do, and I've come up with my own way because I am really picky and want super consistent loops. I'm going to teach you about making loops, and so I invented my own little way of doing this. So these are the last two that I've got to make, and most of it is pretty easy. You know what? I'm going to grab one more pair of pliers. So the supplies that you're going to need is your kit, and if you don't buy this kit, that's cool. You can just buy some jewelry making beads, and you're going to need something. These little circles, these are called jump rings. You're going to need jump rings. You're going to need ear wires, and you're going to need head pins. Now, in the kit, you will get all of this, which is great, because if you're just starting out, you maybe don't know all the names of everything, and you don't know how to buy and which ones to buy, and you get to the craft store and it gets kind of overwhelming. So the other things that you're going to need are some tools, and I'll put a link to a little kit on BeeBee Craft that I ordered mine today. I haven't seen it yet, but I got these from BeeBee Craft, and I really like these brown nose pliers. This is a very small cone on here, and it makes a really tiny little loop, and I really like these. These I just got at Harbor Freight. They came in a set of about, I don't know, 6 or 7 different kinds of pliers. And what you need to look for is you need a smooth jaw plier. You can't have any little ridges inside there. It's got to be smooth. I have a pair. These, let's see if I can get that up there. These have little ridges. There we go. And this will just tear up or destroy, mark up your findings. So you do not want this kind. And your husband's going to tell you, oh, I got lots of pliers, babe, you can use mine. Say no. Say no. Unless they are smooth. And most men are not buying these smooth kind of pliers. Let me put that up there closer. Okay, so these are very smooth. You should be able to run your finger along there. The other thing you're going to need is some cutters, and I got these also at Harbor Freight, and they were, gosh, I can't even remember, a couple bucks. They weren't expensive. And if you get the kit that I'm going to recommend, it will come with all of these little gadgets and extra little things. And I'll do a video when I get my kit. It looks awesome. I'm really excited. Okay, so these are called round nose pliers. These are called chain nose pliers, and these are called wire cutters or side cutters. Okay. All right. So those are your tools. The other little thing you're going to need is a little device. This is the little thing that I made, and you'll see me using this. And I will make another video and show you how to make one of these. It's super easy and it's not a big deal. So watch me use it, and then I can teach you in another video how to make one. Okay? All right. So the first thing I like to do is my jump rings. So you just pick up your jump ring, and it will have a little seam, and you're going to find that seam where it opens. Okay, and this is important. You're going to twist. All right, so you're going to twist that open. Do not pull it open this way. When I first started making jewelry, I didn't know that, and you will deform your circle, and you'll have a really hard time getting it back into a nice round circle again. So the top of this little crystal has a hole drilled through it, so I'm just going to slip that on there, and now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to twist that circle closed. And I got to look at it here. Ooh. I got to look at that, make sure I got it closed. Okay, and I know that's a really fine detail to see on a camera, and I really don't like to use those. Let me find, there we go, my other. And again, these are just Harbor Freight ones, and they're smooth, but you're going to wiggle that back and forth, and maybe I'll use my fingers to show you what I'm doing. So you've got this circle like this, right? And you're going to twist it open. You're going to put your little jewel or gem on there, and then you're going to twist it closed. Now, as you go to twist that closed, sometimes you end up with a little gap, and all you have to do is wiggle the sides of the circle with your pliers until you can feel those edges rub up against each other. If those edges aren't rubbing, then it's not closed all the way, and you could lose whatever it is. Now, in this case, you probably wouldn't lose your jewel or your gem here, but you would lose, if that was open, you could lose whatever's on top of it. Okay, and this happens with store-bought jewelry as well. I've lost earring, you know, the little jewel or gem or whatever is kind of hanging down. I lose that little piece. Okay. Another way you can check to see if it's closed all the way is if your fingernail will go inside there. If your fingernail will go inside your loop, then it's not closed all the way. Okay, so that's one of the secrets in making jewelry that stays together. Okay, and I can see that that's not lined up super 100%, so I'm going to come in here and just see if I can kind of, and I can't really seem to get that to move. Okay, so there's our first one. So we're just going to repeat this process with all of these jump rings and all of these loops. Okay, so I'm going to twist it open. I'm going to slip on my little crystal, and then I'm going to close that back up, and I'm going to flip these around. Okay, and I'm just going to wiggle those ends. Can you see that? Oy. Okay, I'm wiggling those ends until they line up. And what happens is, as you wiggle that metal, okay, it creates a little bit of heat from the resistance, and you warm up that metal, and then that will close tightly. All right, so now I'm going to do the others, and sometimes you can open those with your fingers like I just did. Okay, but then I almost always use my pliers because they're more precise and I can really match that up. And I don't know if you can hear that. I'll try to make it. Okay, and so you need to make sure that that's really touching. Oh, now I deformed it. Okay, you want to make sure that that's touching really tightly. And I wiggled it so much I kind of deformed it. Okay, I think I fixed it now. All right, let's do this last one. Okay, I'm twisting it open. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment and I will come in and answer those questions. I get notifications from YouTube when you guys post. So let me know if you have any questions. All right, so those are ready to go now. So I'm going to move those out of the way. And we're now going to use our head pins. And this is really simple. Actually, I should probably have shown you this finished one. This one is exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to make loops right here and right here, okay, on either end of this little crystal. And getting nice small loops is another secret to jewelry making. If you have these really big, I've seen really big and deformed loops, and it doesn't look good, okay? And I've even seen videos on YouTube where people do this incorrectly. They don't make their loops correctly. So there is a little bit of a learning curve here, okay? So there's my first two. And here are the second two. And this is where you can mix and match, right? So I chose to use the clear white, or not white, but clear crystal with the red. And I think that looks really pretty. I like a lot of red, so for me, that's definitely something I'm going to wear. I also wear a lot of purple and some blues, and so I made two. I think those were supposed to go together, the purple with the purple and the blue with the blue, and I mixed them up because I thought that was a little more interesting to look at. I don't wear a lot of green, but there's really pretty, you know, with the green. So you can put these together however you want. If you wanted to put the red and green together and have a little Christmas theme, you could. And even once you put these together, if you want to switch them around, that's an option as well, because I'm going to teach you how to open and close these loops, and so you can mix and match and change them around if you want to. All right, so move this out of the way. So now I am going to use my little tool, and what I do is I use it to cut this wire. As you can see, this wire is way too big. We're not going to need all of that wire. When you look at this, right, you can see, sorry, my hands are all in the way. You can see how tiny that is. So I need to cut some of that off. That's what I'm going to use the cutters for. And I've seen videos where they tell you that you'll figure it out. You'll just learn where to cut your wires and how much wire you're going to need to make that loop. You know what? And I just realized I have the wrong thing. We don't need head pins, we need eye pins. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go get some eye pins, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I grabbed some head pins, so I'm just going to take these off. And so here's a little learning moment here. So a head pin is just flat on the bottom, and an eye pin already has a loop on it. So these are just a little more convenient. I could definitely cut off that head and make my own eye pins, and I have done that before, but it is just a little bit easier to just go with the eye pins. Okay, so I'm going to put these eye pins on now. And I like to kind of load up my pins and have them ready to go. And that's just a me thing. No real reason. Don't have to do it that way. Okay, so I have made this little thing so that I can measure how long to make that wire. And like I said, some videos they will show you how to do it. In fact, maybe no, I won't. Okay, have to edit that out. Okay, so what you're going to do is I slide this in, okay, and I have this little piece of tape so that I can see, but yet I'm going to catch that little wire. If you don't have something to catch the little wire into, it is going to fly across the room. And believe me, there's little wires all over my house. Mostly in my craft room, but there's some in my kitchen as well. Okay, so and then I just tip that up just a teeny bit so that I can kind of direct that under this little piece of fabric that's there. Okay, and I have a line, and I just go into where my line is, and I just clip that off. Okay, so this is just a little device that shows me where to cut that off. I started out, I was using a ruler, and I realized that I just am over and over. And if you have this little block, then you have it up off the table. And when you have a ruler, where's a ruler? So if you have a ruler, you're down here like this, and you're trying to hold things, and you're trying to, you know, I was like this, trying to hold it and try to keep it at 0, keep the end of the bead at the 0, and that kind of thing. All right, so I just made that little thing. All right, so now I have this little piece of wire, and I'm going to loop that, make that into a circle. Now, here's another tip. For years and years and years, I tried to make circles with these needle nose pliers. And guess what? You don't get a circle. You get kind of a capital D looking letter. So you need the round nose pliers, and some people call these chain nose pliers. I call them round nose pliers. And what I have done is I have made a little mark. I don't know if you can see that. I made a little mark with a Sharpie on there. Can you see that? And that tells me where to grab my wire. Okay, so I'm going to grab that wire just like that. Okay, and now I'm going to make sure that my wire is down inside those pliers, and so you want to rub it with your finger. Okay, and if your bead moves, then your wire is sticking up too much. Okay, and then with your thumb you're going to kind of hold on to this bead, and you are going to roll this around. Okay, and your wrist is only going to let you go a certain distance. All right, so then I open up my pliers, and you can see, let's see, there you go. You can see it's not all the way done. So now I come in with my pliers again, okay, and I'm going to just keep rolling that around. Okay, now that looks much more like a circle. Now the last little step is I come in and I just give that a little pop on the back side, and that gives you that little kink in your loop, and your loop might open just a little bit, so go back in there and close that. Okay, so let me get something else. Okay, so here's the loop that I made. Okay, and here's the loop that was already there. Okay, so they're close to the same. They're not exactly the same, and that is just fine. Okay, so that's our first one. So I got to do 3 more times. And I'm going to slip that in. I'm going to measure that. And I like to do things kind of in a, what's that called? Assembly line. Okay. Now you'll start to get these little bits that you've cut off, and you're just gonna, I just pull those out. Okay. And if you want, you can keep those, or if you don't want to keep them, you can throw them away. It's totally up to you. I'll show you here in a second what you can do with them. Okay, so now I've got those all trimmed, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to roll these. I'm going to do the exact same procedure. So I'm checking that to make sure it's in there. Okay, and then I'm going to roll that around as far as it will go. Sorry, I'm off camera. I have to look at it. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to come to the back side and I'm just going to pop that. And I don't need a big bend in that, so I just want to do a little one. Okay, so there's the blue one. Okay, and I'm bending that around, and then I'm going to pop that. Okay, there's that one. Now we have one red one left. Again, I'm going to put that in my pliers. Oh, I'm going to show you. Can you see how that is not down inside far enough? So I need to adjust that a little. That's better. I can still fill it just a smidge, but I think it's okay. All right, now I'm going to roll that around. Roll, roll, roll. And did not. Okay, that turned out really weird. All right, so I'm going to unroll it. I'm trying to do it so you guys can see what I'm doing on the camera. Normally I hold these close to my eyeballs so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to roll that again. Nope. All right, I'm going to have to go off camera and do this. Sorry. This one is just turning out. And sometimes the more you mess with the metal, it kind of starts to get deformed. Okay, and now I'm going to come in and pop that back side. And that's sticking out just a little bit. This one ended up a little more of a teardrop shape than a circle. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so now, put these up where you guys can see them a little better. All right, so now I have made my loops, okay? And that is the hard part. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to open these loops. So kind of like the jump ring, okay? You're going to come in here and you're going to grab the bottom of the loop and you're going to twist that up, okay? And you're going to take your gem and you're going to slip that in. And you're going to twist that back, okay? And you really want to make sure that that is closed all the way so that this gem does not come off, okay? So now I'm going to do the other one. So I'm going to open this loop. And I'm going to slip that gem on. I'm going to close that loop up. And I'm going to check it, make sure that that can't get through. And I'm a little worried, so I'm just going to come in with my pliers and I'm just going to move that. Make sure that is closed really well. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to come to my ear wires, and they have a little loop. And I'm going to open that loop. I'm going to twist it up. And now I've got a double gem, and I'm going to slip that on, and I'm going to twist that back down. Okay, and there we have an earring. Now the other ear wire. And I'm going to find where that opens. And I'm going to twist that open. And I'm going to take my little double gem. I'm going to slip that on. Now I'm going to twist that closed. And I'm going to make sure I did it good and tight. Okay, that's really secure. That's not coming off. All right, now we're going to do the blue ones. I'm going to come to my loop. I'm going to twist it open. I'm going to put my purple gem on. And then I'm going to twist that closed. And I'm come to my ear wire. And I'm going to twist that open. And I'm going to put my double gem on. And twist that closed. Picked up the wrong one. Okay, I'm going to open that up. Slip on the gem. Twist it closed. Let's see. Sorry, I got a little bead is slipping. Okay. It's open. I'm going to slip that on and twist it closed. All right. And there are our 2 pairs of earrings. Okay. All right, now I told you you could do something with these little scraps, so I'm going to show you. So when you're first learning to make jewelry, making loops is a little bit of a skill that you have to perfect, right? Just like skiing or skateboarding or rollerblading. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop. So I'm just going to roll that around, okay? And then I'm going to put my little pop in there. Now I can use this as another eye pin, especially if I have a, excuse me, especially if I have a small gem like these, a small crystal or a small bead. You can simply just practice making loops with these before you throw them away. So you would do the same thing. You're going to come in, you're going to find that end, okay? You're going to roll that around, okay? And now it looks like a P. Some people call these P loops. Okay, and you come to the back side and you're going to flip that. Or, I don't know if flip's the right word. You're going to bend that so that it has a little cock to that little head. And what that does is that puts the loop back over the center. You center up that loop. Because if you didn't do that, let me show you. So if you just roll that all the way around, okay, then you get this, which, I mean, it's not terrible, but that's just not how things look even when you buy jewelry, right? I don't want my jewelry to look like I made it. Okay, so you just practice making loops, and the more you make, the better you'll get. The first few, you might be really disappointed, and you might feel like, what? I did exactly what she said, and mine doesn't look like that. But you have to remember, I've been doing this for a long time. I first started making jewelry in the 80s, so it's now 2021. So it's been a few minutes that I've been doing this. Okay, so a lot of times I will reuse these. I'll keep these scraps and do something else with them, because why throw them away? They cost money to buy, and those I can use those again down the road. Okay, so this is a set, and I will put a link down in the description, and I'll read the SKU to you right now. It is DIY-SC0002-96. Okay, and it is called a crystal faceted teardrop dangle hook earring making starter kit. So it's kind of long. Like I said, I'll put a link down in the description, and it will take you straight to the BeeBee website, and you won't even have to search for it or look for it. Okay, if you have questions, please leave me a comment, and I think I can link to my Instagram as well. So I'll put a link on there on my Instagram. My glasses just fell apart. My little holder just broke. It didn't break, it slipped off. So I will put a link to my Instagram, and you can message me on Instagram if I can get that to work. I'm also on Facebook and here on YouTube. So you can message me through all those different ways. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.